Good morning, YouTube. Today we have a review that I'm more excited about than any review I've done in months. I'm going to review a 1993 Ford Mustang Cobra, and it's only got 20,000 miles on it.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and this is my dealership, MG Supercars, and this Cobra is an absolute time capsule, and it can be yours, so it is for sale through our dealership. Again, check out ngsupercars.com or send us an email, sales@ngsupercars.com if you'd like to make an offer. But this thing is absolutely glorious. It is a throwback to my childhood. I can't tell you how much I absolutely love these Fox bodies, and I always wanted to get one of the Cobras. I never had a chance to. In fact, I've never even owned a Fox body, sadly. So this is the first time I really got to play around with one. I've been driving this thing around. I drove it back and forth to my house and to work and to just running errands because I love it so much. So I'm gonna walk around and show you everything that's wrong with it and everything that's awesome about this thing. And let me tell you, it's more awesome than anything. And then afterwards, we're gonna drive it and, well, okay, so the driving, it's not a modern car, but it's still fun. So stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe. You're gonna love this one. Ah, yes, this is high school Dan. Yeah, this was a dream car for me. I absolutely loved the Fox bodies, and the 93 Cobra is just phenomenal. And this particular example is exceptional because it is very original. Now, I'm going to go through there. It has been modified in a few small ways. The good news is that basically we have all of the original parts. I mean, all of them. And we have crazy documentation. We have all the original paperwork for this thing. There are some small flaws. You know, it has been driven. There are some paint chips that have been touched up. Probably not the best touch-up work, but that's a good sign because it means all this paint is original. Now, yes, it could use a paint correction. We did not want to touch it because, well, it's 31-year-old paint and I don't want to screw it up. So if you want to pay someone to do it, they probably need to be a really, like, someone who's an expert could probably restore this thing to an absolute perfection. But it's in really good shape. So I mean, you can see the light reflecting off the paint. The paint is in really good shape, but again, it could use a light paint correction. You would have to be very careful. Pretty good condition of almost everything. Now, there is some paint flaking, and you can see some like pitting in the paint along the sunroof. But here's another crazy thing. All of the seals are original, and when I washed the car, barely any water came in. It basically is not leaking at all anywhere, which is amazing for this car. Original wheels, I should say, recently replaced tires. Now, there is a flake of paint that came off right there on the side. That's a little bit unfortunate, but still very insignificant. It does have an aftermarket exhaust, so it does have long tube headers, but we still have the factory exhaust. Moving on to the interior, this is where it's just insane. The interior is like it was brand new. A tiny bit of bolster wear right there, but it's insignificant. Rear seats, of course, are perfect. I don't think anyone's really sat in the rear. It does have an aftermarket stereo, but we do have the factory one. The nice thing is they actually installed a reverse camera with that stereo. So you actually have reverse camera, which is really handy. Everything else original. You can see there in the dashboard, 20,582 miles on this thing. And we're gonna go put on a couple more in just a moment. But yeah, dash is perfect. Everything else is basically flawless. Everything is still here. It all works. Now, moving on to under the hood. This is where it gets really fascinating, and this is where it gets awesome. Oh yeah, we've got the 5-liter Cobra. So valve covers have been replaced. We do have the originals. Water pump was replaced. I guess we have the original for that. Radiator was replaced. We have the original radiator, although I don't think you would actually want to use the original radiator because these things were kind of known to overheat, and we've got a big, nice aluminum one here. Aftermarket intake, again, we have the original intake with it as well. So we have all the original parts. You can see it actually has the stickers on the panels from the factory. Still got them all everywhere. So that is all showing that this is all original paint. It's unmolested. You can see the long tube headers there, but yeah, it's absolutely stunning car and how original it is. We even have the sunroof bag, and it has the spare and the jack and everything. So, oh yeah, nice and heavy. Check that out. We have the sunroof bag. We've got the privacy cover for the trunk. I have no there. Oh, look at that. Wow. Oh yeah, I can hide your stuff back here. The seats still fold down and everything. I mean, everything works. Everything is exactly how it should be from the factory. It's just phenomenal. Just an absolute time capsule. Check this out. We've got the original papers, all the owner's guide, the warranty card, all that stuff that came with the car. But then we have this folder of all sorts of crazy cool stuff. We've got like tags, deposit slip, original window sticker. Oh yeah, baby. I wish it was still that price, don't you? Man, $21,598. We've got all this stuff related to its original purchase. You've got the SVT welcome letter, all these other documents from it, like just cool stickers and everything, warranty stuff. Check this out. We got certification that this car is number 3548 of 4,993. Very, very cool. Again, more documentation, the original paperwork related to it. Here's the actual printout from the dealership to show that's how much the dealer paid for this car. Isn't that cool? We've got all this stuff, all this paperwork of everything that's basically ever happened to this car. So super well documented. All right, I'm gonna start it up, and you gotta hear this thing. It sounds so good. It sounds exactly like the 90s. This is the epitome of the 90s to me. This is exactly what I grew up wanting a car to sound like. I had dreams about having my car sound like this. YouTube, we've got our trusty 5-speed 5-liter Mustang. Oh shoot! Stop. I love that sound. It is so iconic. I'm pretty sure it's got Flowmasters because that's exactly what they sound like to me. This is not a short throw shifter. This shifter you throw quite a distance, and it's super tall. By the way, the AC in this thing blows stupid cold. I actually can't run it full blast. I will be freezing by the time we get done with this review. I was actually impressed because you can actually heel toe in this thing. The pedals are actually positioned such that I can actually heel toe. A lot of these older cars they did not do that right and you couldn't do it. This one's not too bad. Listen to that. Classic. It sounds exactly like an old Ford from the 90s. Funny thing about this car, it gets a ridiculous amount of attention. I was filling it up with gas the other day, and oh my lord, people really came up to me and were like, all asking me all these questions about it. How many miles? Oh, is that original? And all this stuff. Is it real Cobra? They didn't really care about fuel economy that much, so like 50 miles an hour, we're at like 1700 RPMs. But when you start getting up into highway speeds, you're turning pretty good RPMs. Definitely does not have a high top speed given the RPMs that we see. All the gauges work. Again, with the giant radiator that was installed, coolant stays nice and cold. Don't have to worry about overheating this puppy. Another great thing about these old cars, the visibility is amazing. You can see everything. There's no A-pillars. The A-pillars are tiny. So you can see everything. There's so much glass. I feel like you can just look around and see everything that's going on. There is like zero visibility problems whatsoever in this car. Oh, listen to that sound. Oh, it's so good. Handling is, not the greatest, admittedly. Here we go. Lots of body roll. Oh, this is awesome. That sound is so good. Oh my god, like I said, I love driving this car. I don't know what it is. It's not fast. You aren't gonna win any sort of like speed competitions. Oh, look at the body roll. Oh my god. There we go. To the floor. It rides so smooth too, over all these bumps and stuff. Oh my gosh. All right, let's do a little bit of a rolling start for this thing. Ready? Here we go. Like I said, you are not winning any sort of competitions with this car, but it is so fun. It is just, it's such a throwback. This, you know, we had that Trans Am that was a total time capsule as well, and it's funny because these cars just, they're so nostalgic and they bring up all these emotions. And that's the thing, is driving these cars is an emotional experience. It's just fun. Like you don't worry about, oh my God, I'm so fast, or any of that sort of stuff. You're just enjoying the drive. You're just having fun. You're banging the gears. You're just wanting to get out, go share the car with people. Like, that's the other thing that's so fun, is just filling up, having all those guys come up and ask questions. You almost get as much attention in this as you do in a Ferrari. It's true. It's crazy. Like, people just love these things. Obviously, people who are kind of my age, I would say, this is the car we grew up dreaming about. It's one of them, and this is a poster car. So badly wanted to have one of these Cobras, and they are just, they're every bit as awesome as I thought they would be. Obviously not in today's standards. These things are, well, you know, it leaves a lot to be desired as far as performance compared to a modern car, but that's not what this is about. Yeah, definitely don't need to be hauling ass into corners with this thing. And it's not to say it's slow, it's just not fast in the modern standards. You know, I mean, 235 horsepower, I believe, from the factory. With these exhaust mods and the intake mod, maybe it's 245, 250 horsepower. You could probably do a lot and get it to be a lot more powerful, but honestly, it's just fun. Why bother? This is a pleasant driving experience. It's just a lot of fun to drive. The nice thing about this is, because it isn't crazy fast compared to the modern stuff, you can basically floor it everywhere, and it doesn't really matter. You're not going to get arrested. Brakes are okay. They're not terrible. Steering's nice and light. It's reasonably precise given the body roll. You know, it definitely takes the car a moment to settle once you get into a corner. Of course, there's no nannies, no nothing to get in the way of driving. You just drive. Doesn't even have enough power to break the tires loose. Basically, you'd have to do like a clutch drop or spin the tires. Yep, I could do this all day long. It's just super comfortable, easy to manage, no driver's fatigue. AC's blowing cold. Yeah, I love this car. Like I said, I like this car way more than I should. It's like no rattles, no squeaks. It's just, I can't believe how good of condition this thing is for being 31 years old. It's really quite impressive. These are small cars. Like you compare this thing to the size of a modern Mustang, and it's actually tiny in comparison. I don't remember this being such a small car. I always thought it was kind of a big car, and now it's like, wow, this thing's tiny. Love the sound. Man, you must have been hot shit if you had one of these in the 90s. Okay, to the floor. Oh, a little chirp. God, this car is so fun. Well, there it is, YouTube. My childhood dreams. Yes, this is the car of Dan's high school years. I love this thing. I absolutely love it. I love it way more than I ever should. As Josh said, he's like, you need to keep this thing, but I'm not going to keep it. Admittedly, if I was going to do a Fox, I would want it to be like a full-on drag car, and this is just too pristine. Like, someone should not molest this car. They should just leave it as is. This is a proper time capsule. It's only going to go up in value. So anyway, if you're interested, send us an email, sales@ngsupercars.com. But we'd appreciate it if you guys could like, share, and subscribe. Check out all the other cars we have in our dealership, and we'll see you in the next video. We're going to be doing a lot of cool car stuff. You're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.